E85 life, baby! Now that this thing's started, let's get to the shop, unload all this junk, and work on this XB. How about that? Skirt, skirt! Absolutely nothing to be left outside your unit. No overnight parking. We're here. What's up, guys? Another video with the manual swap for the XB. I've been wanting to record this video for a couple days, but I've just been busy, you know, with work, with everything. I have a pretty busy life. Took the FRS out this weekend for what it's probably going to be the last drift event I go to this year. Just because I need tires and it's cold, and as you saw, this thing doesn't like to start when it's cold. It's like 30 degrees if we're lucky. It's a little chilly, so if my voice is a little shaky, that would be why. But I'm still out here trucking on this thing. So since the update video, I've gotten 90% of everything I need for the manual swap out. So we'll start over here. This is just a climate control unit, I guess it would be called. I'm not exactly sure, to be honest with you. But I need this just because the one on hers, some of the knobs don't turn all the way. They'll go to like 90% and then they'll just stop. And you can put it to 100 and then it'll kind of bounce back. But then we have the clutch pedal. So originally I thought that this was connected to that big bracket. So if we go on the inside of the car here, the pedal assembly was kind of just chilling right here, and there's actually only two nuts you have to take off. There's a 12 mil here and a 12 mil here, and then the whole assembly will pull out. You have to pull a pin for the master cylinder, which is right here. You can see this pin right there. I had to pull that out, slid the master out, slid the pedal assembly out, and just threw the pin back in. Here we have, this is the rear mount. This is the passenger side mount. The driver side mount is still in the car. I have to take the driver side mount, which is, I don't know, looks like a 17 there. And then I have to take the rest of the rear mount out in case it's different on the automatic car. So I take those out. Have the starter here. The transmission is laying on the floor over there. Axles are on the ground right there. Then over here we have the manual tach. So the biggest difference between the manual and the automatic is that the automatic would have, you know, park, neutral, reverse, all that stuff up here. But since I'm using the manual, I don't want that. I want just this, even though this says that it's going to have like 200,000 miles. That's all right. I might be able to like swap the faces or something. I don't know. I'll have to check it out. We have the ECU, which was kind of just chilling under the climate control fan. So it was just two 10mm bolts here, and then you kind of tilt it down and pull it out that way. Then we have the master cylinder. This was kind of a pain in the ass to get out. So this guy, it gets hung up on the ABS module. So on the donor car, what I did is I couldn't get the 14mm bolts. Let me move my light here. There's two 14s. Well, they should be 14s, but on here they're so rusted that they're freaking imperial. They're not even metric anymore. So on this car, all I did is I just bent this forward and then wiggled the master out. On this car, if I can't loosen up these bolts and get enough room, all I'm gonna do is just undo all the brake lines, take the module out, put everything back together once the master's in there, because I don't want to, you know, wreck any of the lines on this car, because that would be a pain. I have to take off the reservoir yet. I just have to make sure that the brake master cylinder is going to be the same. I'm going to have to figure out how I'm going to get this guy out, just because if you look on here, it's a shared reservoir. So we have the reservoir for the brakes here, and then this tube goes to the master cylinder right here. Otherwise, what I could do is, if I can find a master cylinder that's the same size, I could set it up so it has its own reservoir, but I'm not entirely sure where I would mount the reservoir, so I'm going to try and keep it OEM. I'm not sure if I'm going to keep the original brake line for the master cylinder, so it kind of goes up here, goes up and around everything, and then it comes out somewhere over here. Oh, it's right here, and then I have the hose kind of tucked up here. But we'll see if I reuse that or if I'll just use like a stainless line. I'm not sure yet. Let's see, the shifter and shifter linkage. So obviously it was disconnected from the trans and everything. So there's, oh geez, it's falling. There is a couple of just little pins that connect it to the transmission. And then there's, I think they were 12mm bolts that hold it to the trans. So there's 1, 2, 3. And then this here is underneath the car. So if we crawl underneath, I can show you those. So under here you can see there's 2 bolts. There's one there, or 2 bolt holes. There's one there and one there. Had to undo those. And then in the front, there's a little bracket right here. Had to undo that one. It was just kind of like a support bracket, so the cables weren't hanging all floppy. Had to undo those. And then what I did in the car was disconnected the linkage from the shifter. So basically there's a couple little clips here, just popped a screwdriver in there and in each of these, and then pop these black pieces out. And then this part is just a pin, so that goes on there like so. And then this one has a clip. There's a clip that kind of sits on this linkage piece here and wraps around that ball. But I don't know where that clip went. It disappeared, and believe me, I have looked for hours trying to find the stupid thing. Honestly, I've been at the shop for probably 2 hours, and 10 minutes of that was me filming, you know, the intro. I actually filmed a lot of this stuff already, but I wanted to re-record it. And yeah, the other hour and 45 minutes was me trying to find that clip. I can't find it anywhere. If I don't find it before I get rid of the shell, I'm just gonna make my own clip, because really all it has to do is come from here and then overlap this little ball to keep it in there. So I could honestly get away with using a paper clip or something like that, as long as it's sturdy enough and it's not gonna come out and you're not gonna, you know, lose shifting while you're driving. That's important. So I'll probably have to make that. But other than that, the shifter was held in by 4 bolts. I think they were 14 or 12s. There's one, you know, here, 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 and here. And in the car, those go right here, 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 and here. So once the linkage was all out, I just kind of shoved it through this hole and then pulled the linkage out from underneath, and then the shifter just came out from above. So that's how I got the shifter out. Alright guys, so down here I'm pulling the shifter cables out. So there was a couple bolts for this exhaust shield. There's one right there, and then there's one up in the front, and then there's just a bolt right here that held, where is it? This little bracket that holds the cables. So now we just have to disconnect them from the shifter, which I was hoping I didn't have to do, but I do. And then we can pull the cables out through the bottom. So I got the shifter box out. Now I can just kind of push the cables through, and they'll fall down below, and I can pull the cables out.
Yep, done.
And then now we just have to, you know, go on the automatic car and make sure that, you know, it's going to be similar, and we might have to, you know, drill out a couple holes for some of the bolts, but that's not a big deal if I have to do that.
Get some nuts.
And that's pretty much everything from the interior that I needed, besides like the center console, but that's sitting in the back seat. That just clips out. That's easy enough to pull out. So yeah, all I have to pull yet for the manual swap is just the reservoir, the driver's side mount, and the rear mount. So I'll probably pull those quick. Well, the reservoir I'm probably not going to do tonight just because I'm fairly busy. I worked all day today, and I don't really feel like being out here too much longer. It is freaking cold. So I have made this outro like 3 times and I just kept rambling, so this one I'm gonna keep short. This is gonna be the end of this video. It's kind of just another update video, but oh well. I made some good progress. Honestly, this master cylinder I thought was gonna be a pain in the butt to get out, and it really didn't take me all that long to get it out. But it's getting cold. I wanna go home and edit this video. If you have any questions about the manual swap, feel free to message me on Instagram. It's YEEBOOO, 3 E's, 3 O's. You know, I'll help you as much as I can. I know I had some questions on manual swapping a Scion TC. I've never had a TC or anything like that, so I don't know if it's going to be, you know, relatively the same process. Realistically, it's all going to be the same. It's just going to be a little different where the parts are, what you need to switch over, things like that. Just because every car is going to be different for a manual swap, but they're all kind of the same thing. So it might be a good idea to do some other research on that if you're interested in manual swapping a TC. I probably won't be able to help too much with that. With the XB, I'm willing to answer any questions on anything that I know so far. And of course, as I continue to make progress, I'll know more. So stay tuned for that. But leave a like if you like the video. You know, the few comments that I've gotten on these videos have been great. You know, they really make me want to come out here and work on this thing. I'll be sitting at home kind of, you know, working on whatever, doing stuff for work, and then I'll look at a comment, and then it's just like, wow, I want to go home and work on the XB. So that really means a lot to me. Subscribe if you want to see more. I'm going to make videos on this thing as often as I can, even if they're just little update videos like this. I think it's kind of important to do stuff like that. And I will see you in the next video, which hopefully I'll have everything off this car. I'll look at the reservoir on this, see if there's a cap, and we'll go from there. Hopefully this thing is out of here soon. This beauty beast of a rusty piece of garbage. All right, peace guys. See you in the next one.